Hello everyone, I welcome you all to Manu Law Classes Current Affair Analysis. In this video, we will discuss The Hindu Delhi edition September 9 newspaper. So our very first topic, which is given in the front page, is about the G20. So here you should know about the main leader who will arrive and who has already arrived for the G20 Summit. So it is Argentina President Alberto Fernandez, Australia Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, Brazil President Lula da Silva, Canada Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and France President Emmanuel Macron, Germany Chancellor Olaf Scholz, Indonesia President Joko Widodo, Italy Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, Japan Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, and Republic of Korea President Yoon Suk Yeol, and the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, Turkey President Erdogan, and also UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, President Joseph Biden, and European President of the European Commission Ursula von der Leyen, and the Chinese Premier, as we already know, the Chinese head will not attend. He sent his Premier Li Qiang to attend this meeting. Mexico Minister of Economy Raquel, and Russian Minister of Foreign Affairs Sergei Lavrov, and also the Saudi Arabian Crown Prince and Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman. So these are the invitees, these are the members who will participate in the G20 Summit. Now we will discuss about another very important thing, that is who are the G20 invitee country. So they are Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Egypt President Abdul Fattah Saeed LCC, Mauritius Prime Minister Pravind Kumar Jugnauth, Netherlands Prime Minister Mark Rutte, Nigeria President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Singapore Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, and the UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, and also the Oman Deputy Prime Minister, he is Syed Assad, and Spain first Vice President, she is Nadia Santamaria. So these are the important invitees and these are the important members who will soon, who have came and they are attending the G20 Summit. Now we will move on toward our very first important discussion on the very first news, that is about Modi Biden welcome progress in the defense ties. So here Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Joe Biden, they have welcomed the completion of the notification process, and here they had basically agreed for the commercial agreement between the General Electric Aerospace and HAL for the manufacture of GEF 414 jet engines in India, and also the commencement of the negotiations. And also they already lauded for the settlement of the seventh and the last outstanding WTO dispute between the two countries. So these are the important upcoming between the which are coming after the meeting of the Joe Biden and Narendra Modi. So here we will also discuss about another important bilateral talk which happened, and here they come with the issuance of, as President Biden welcomed the issuance of the letter of request from the Ministry of Defense of India to procure 31 General Atomics MQ-98, which will be having 16 Sky Guardian and the 15 Sea Guardian, and they will have the remotely piloted aircraft and their associated equipments, which will enhance the intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance capability of Indian armed force. So these are the major upcoming, these are the major signatures which are being done. Here both countries are basically collaborating to hold all these bilateral talks. Now moving further toward our next important article, that is coming in from the G20 again. So here various civic agencies, they have joined hands to roll out the red carpet for the G20 delegation. So here there was the work which was going past 6 months, and here various agencies which included PWD, Municipal Corporation of the Delhi and the NMDC, they have carried out extensive beautification drive, and here elephant and horses were carved out of the red sandstone. There are also lions, panther which are made up of black marble for the Great to greet the delegation in the central Delhi. G20 logo with the theme of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, it has been placed all around the New Delhi district. And also there are road stretches, facelift part of the key road stretches, and also fountain with the Nandi statue has been made on the IGI airport, and the 10 sets of flags G20 countries of the G20 countries it has been made. So these are the important beautification work which has been performed so far for the G20. Now moving further toward our next important article that is coming in from the editorial section. Here the author is saying about the new criminal laws or the overhaul these new criminal laws that included the Bhartiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bhartiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita and the Bhartiya Sakshya Sanhita, which will be transformed in here. IPC, CRPC and the Indian Evidence Act will be replaced by these three important laws. So here if we talk about the amendment, specifically talking about the Bhartiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita. So here there are few important provision which has been incorporated in this particular Sanhita that include the registration of the cognizable offence in any police station irrespective of the area where the offence is committed. So we also call it zero FIR. We know the concept of zero FIR, that irrespective of the jurisdiction you can file your FIR anywhere in any police station. So here the same case is going on that we can do here. Explicitly it has been written that this can be done, or zero FIR provision has been explicitly written over here. So here the practice of recording FIR and zero FIR, it has already been in practice, but it has also been included in this, and this gives the complainant a very large, or I can say a very large domain to file their case. Another provision which has already was there but also added was that of the conduct of the preliminary inquiry. So here the prima facie case for the, even in the information whatever it is disclosing. So here there is a in case of cognizable offense which is punishable for more than 3 years but less than 7 years, here the whole thing is laid on the police that they have to basically first go for the inquiry, preliminary inquiry, then they can file a case, and there they are given a 14 days window so that they can first go and conduct the preliminary inquiry. But this particular provision is not in variance, or it is against the Lalita Kumari versus Government of Uttar Pradesh judgment, where the court held that the police has no option but to register an FIR if the information discloses commission of a cognizable offence. But now with this amendment, there will be a 14-day window which will be given to the police to conduct a preliminary inquiry and then just register the FIR. This is good as well as bad. It is good because any innocent will not get any punishment without doing anything. But it is also bad as it can be misused by the police. They cannot just file any FIR. They will say that they have a 14 days window to conduct the preliminary inquiry. So this is good as well as bad. Now all the provision of the CRPC on arrest, they have been retained in this particular bill, but there is also a provision or a new clause which says that offences punishable with less than 3 years of imprisonment, it can lead to arrest. Arrest could be done only with the prior permission of the DSP. Okay, so this is the new provision which has been added. And if the accused person is infirm or is aged over 60 years, so this particular thing will happen. And apart from that, the code of the need of handcuffing, here also there has been instance a provision which has been added, like any person who is being accused for any serious crime, for example for the terrorist act, for the murder, for the rape, acid attack or something like that, then they can be handcuffed, but in other cases they cannot be handcuffed. And you also know that handcuffing is not permitted, but in case of the serious crime, because of the police is being short staffed, so they can escape. That is the reason that they have allowed in the new code that these person who has committed such a heinous crime, they can be handcuffed. Apart from that, there is also some mandatory provision that the new Sanhita provide for mandatory visit of the crime scene by the forensic expert. Anywhere if crime has happened, so there is a mandatory need that the forensic team will arrive over there and they will collect all the possible forensic evidence for the offenses, which is punishable with more than 7 years. But here there are again a lot of limitation with regard to this thing, but it has been incorporated. Apart from that, there is a ban on the two finger test in case of rape. This was already held by the Supreme Court that this ban was already imposed. Now it has been written in the code as well that there will be a complete ban on the two finger test, which was earlier conducted in case of rape, as it is against the dignity of a woman. So here the privacy and dignity of women, and it is violative. So it has already been termed by the Supreme Court, and now it has also made clear in this particular code. Also, the disclosure of the identity of the victim or the survivor of rape. Here there is a need to there is no need to disclose the identity. On the disclosure of identity of victim survivor of the rape, the provision giving authorization to the disclosed identity to the next of the kin in case of the victim is minor. Okay, so these are the various acts, these are the various provisions which has been included in the new Bhartiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita. So these are the important provision, as we have already read that there are various limitations like the 14 days of investigation window, and also there are provision like forensic evidence, forensic team should arrive. So there are problems, but at the same time this incorporation of these provision, they are also very good. Now moving toward our next important article, that is about the India-ASEAN Summit. So as we know, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he visited Jakarta, which is Indonesia capital, to attend the India-ASEAN Summit. In this particular summit here, in this particular India-ASEAN Summit, it was basically an opportunity to cement all the traditional ties, and also there was a heightened facility, trade facility, which was incorporated, and as noted by the UNCTAD on June 21, the global trade update and the outlook for the global trade in the second half of the 2023, it has been said that there was a negative impact on the world economies because of all the global geopolitical tension which is going on. As we know, because of the Ukraine-Russia war and all these geopolitical tension, there has been a negative impact. But with the signing of these important leaders and their negotiations and their strengthening of all these trade ties, this thing can be averted. Apart from that, there is also a statement on the strengthening food security and nutrition in response to the crisis. This was a joint statement which was given by the India and ASEAN leaders. So here they basically talked about the vulnerability which all these areas are facing because of the food insecurity, and also there is a case of global food insecurity because the actual grain bowl of the world, that is the Ukraine part, it has been suffering from a lot of problems, and there is an instance that the Black Sea Grain Initiative, it has also been not accepted by the Russia. So all these things are basically creating a global food insecurity, and that is the reason that these organizations, these regional groupings, ASEAN and India also, they are coming and talking about the global food crisis or global food insecurity. So this was about this whole article. Now moving further toward our next important article, that is coming in again from the G20 meet, and here the New Delhi declaration is almost ready as said by the India's G20 Sherpa. So the joint declaration is almost ready as said by the G20 Sherpa Amitabh Kant, and here they are representing, the leaders are representative of the G20 country, and they are coming up and they are basically trying to fill the gap which is there for the Ukraine. So here the New Delhi leaders declaration, which will be seen after the summit, it has already been ready, and here these all countries are focusing, as India is a leader for the, we can say a virtual leader or a indirect leader for the global voice of the global south. So here the India, this New Delhi declaration of the Sherpa, G20 Sherpa, there will be a lot of innovations and there will be a lot of things which will be in favor of the global south. So this was about the G20 summit. Now moving further toward our world news, here we have news coming in from the Starlink as it turned down key request for internet access in the Black Sea. As we all know, Black Sea is a disputed area, and in the Black Sea there is insecurity as Russia can attack anytime. So that's why the tech billionaire Elon Musk, he prevented Ukrainian attack on Russian Navy base by declining Kyiv request to grant internet access in the Black Sea area near Moscow. So satellite internet service, or we can say Starlink, it is a satellite internet service. It is operated by SpaceX and it has been developed in Ukraine since shortly after it was invaded by Russia. So there are a lot of emergency requests, but now the Starlink has been denied the internet access to this area of Black Sea and also to Ukraine. So this is all for today. I hope you like this lecture. I hope you got to know a lot of things. Thank you everyone. Thank you for attending this lecture.